be able to pump when those other pumps come tomorrow.
Ooh, big time.
So, you've been here now, Warren, how many? 2 days. Tell me, Warren, when are we going to find some diamonds, but?
Rob has quickly assessed the situation. There is only one classifier working. The jigs pump is being used to wash away the walls of the bank, and the classifiers still need to be lifted above the flood zone.
I've never spent any time on an illegal mining site. This is the first. In fact, if we find nothing, it'll be the best money I've ever spent. Just for the adventure. Who gets to do this type of shit? Next to arguably the most profitable diamond mine in the world. And we just in the shadow of it. Hopefully not for long though. Every morning the kids come along. When he drives in here, they flock from the mountains. These little lighties, they just come from all over.
After the passing of my wife recently, the children have really made it for me. There's always a wave and a smile, and they're so grateful. The real treasure in this valley is actually not the spewings out of some ancient volcano, but the people who are here, the warmth of the people. But of course, having said that, it's really important that we create jobs here, and finding the diamonds would help create those jobs, permanent jobs. Without the pumps, we're just pussyfooting around.
If we get gas, we'll also go backwards.
Conrad is allowing Don to use the front loader of the TLB by himself.
I think the risks of letting an untrained person use the back actor, they're serious. They really are serious. This isn't a game. If these guys weren't so close, I'd set him down and slow him a little bit. But you can't take those risks. The Irishman gone haywire. It decimates half our team. It's terrifying driving it. You can kill someone in an instant with it. We're hundreds of k's from any major hospitals. If anything major had to happen, we'd have to be airlifted out of here. Except you shouldn't drop those rocks from that height. That's quite dangerous because it could throw the balance of the TLB out. The way it's driving now, that's not safe. We would fail our health and safety in any country, including Lesotho. I'll have a word with him without damaging his confidence and his enthusiasm. Just to be a little more careful.
The ongoing problems with the machines are affecting the operation. Warren and Gary have been instructed to leave today to collect the pumps. But things hardly ever go to plan, especially in Africa, where unpredictability is a part of life.
It's Monday, we're now starting week 3. Not an awful lot we can do today, unfortunately. The team that went away to pick up the pumps hit a snag when they got there.
The team have trailers with a capacity for 1.5 tons, but the new pumps weigh double that. They now have to transport 3 tons of machinery over treacherous mountain passes and dirt roads back into the valley.
Hopefully they'll be here by midday. Peter and Kim also get back from their weekend away. It's obviously very, very important that we get on with the job we came here to do. I'm acutely aware that I'm merely keeping it ticking over. The real experts are on their way.
As soon as Don arrives at the mining site, he is beset with problems.
Asking me about pumps, quite frankly, I haven't got a clue. Of all the members of the team, I myself was the least experienced. I came a little bit fearful that I would be a burden on everybody. This is a long, long, long way out of my comfort level. Take the bucket, fill the hose with water, just the same as we did at the river. And once it starts sucking, then he's got to drop it.
Don is a superb delegator. He just can get it all done without picking up his finger.
Rob Thunder is suited up and in the water. They can't bring in nothing all day.
He's very much an action man. And I think today he's using the absence of the 2 divers as an excuse to get in there himself and experience what it's like to hang on to a hose like that. I secretly believe that he's hoping to find the first big rock with a diamond in it, so I'll be watching him very closely that I fulfilled mine in taking it off him.
Gotta make hay while the sun shines, eh? The clock is ticking, and we've got a lot of ground to move.
Let's start you properly now.
With Rob manning the hose, Don's back at his favorite toy. He's concerned about Conrad and the divers, who should have been back by now.
The arrival of the pumps, it's like salvation to the heathen. We're all, including the workforce, eagerly waiting to get these things up and running. Everybody is anxious to get going now. And hopefully tomorrow we will be able to get into full production.
The pass is dangerous. It is crucial they get over before dark.
Coming down the valley. It's terrifying.
Don is a superb delegator. He just can get it all done without picking up his finger.
Rob Thunder is suited up and in the water. They can't bring in nothing all day.
He's very much an action man. And I think today he's using the absence of the two divers as an excuse to get in there himself and experience what it's like to hang on to a hose like that. I secretly believe that he's hoping to find the first big rock with a diamond in it. But I'll be watching him very closely that I fulfilled mine in taking it off him.
Gotta make hay while the sun shines, eh? The clock is ticking, and we've got a lot of ground to move.
Let's start you properly now.
With Rob manning the hose, Don's back at his favorite toy. He's concerned about Conrad and the divers, who should have been back by now.
The arrival of the pumps, it's like salvation to the heathen. We're all, including the workforce, eagerly waiting to get these things up and running. Everybody is anxious to get going now. And hopefully tomorrow we will be able to get into full production.
The pass is dangerous. It is crucial they get over before dark.
Coming down the valley. It's terrifying. And there are no barriers on the side. We've got huge drop-offs. It's extremely dangerous. So a big risk is getting in and out of the valley. It really, really is. You can kill yourself. I mean, actually, it's bloody scary.
It is almost dark before they finally make it down the mountain pass, where they have met up with Peter and Kim.
You know, that's fine.
No, good.
I was in four-wheel drive, low range, and I felt this.
On that section, I was sliding, and I just felt it. There's nothing I could do.
Nothing.
Yeah.
The next morning, they start the slow drive down to the site.
These pumps are gigantic and very, very heavy. I think it's going to be a mission just getting them there. And then once we're there, it's going to be a mission getting them set up. Too wide, you're going to hook. Yes. Lucky. He's very lucky. Hopefully today we can get the new pumps running, get everything connected up, and maybe today's going to be a good day. I'm feeling positive. I'm not so sure everybody feels the same way. Let's see how we go.
Getting very irritated with Warren. He knows exactly what buttons we need to push. He's pushing them. We're in each other's faces every day. It's those little things. If I wake up in the morning and there's no lighter next to my bed and he takes it, it's fucking frustrating.
It takes the whole day to reposition the classifiers and place the new pumps alongside them. In true African style, they use a tailgate to assist the pump's power.
These pumps will pull the ends off of there.
They have to be inventive and use their ingenuity to make it all come together. But finally, they are ready to test the new pumps.
Come on, boys, let's rock and roll.
Go, got it.
Listen to that big roar, bro.
Get it into gear.
pumps primed.
Compressor's now not strong enough. Need a 300 bar compressor, and I guarantee this thing will prime in 30 seconds to 1 minute.
Warren has an idea.
So you're saying fill the hose first?
Then the whole system's full. Then we put the plastic and we show you starts and we see what she does. I can do this. I've got an engineering background. I'm fully confident.
He has a very broad general knowledge of equipment and he has very functional solutions. It's actually a team player.
But we need to get this level. Why? So that while we're filling up there, it doesn't run out the pump. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Have a seal on the top.
Gary isn't not a team player. He's a grumpy guy. He's miserable.
Waste my fucking time.
The guys are a little shorter. Tempers flare a little bit.
Gary is uncooperative, so Warren takes the hose to his own diving hole.
What the compressor does is it creates a suction inside there, which sucks the water up here until it fills that huge big pump. Once that pump's full, you can switch it on and then it shunts it through. And once the pump's running, it does its own suction. None of us are experts on machinery, so we had to rely on the machine manufacturers. And I told them, where we going? Next to Let's Say Mine, 10,000 feet in the Lesotho Mountains, getting in freezing cold water. I want machinery that will allow us to suck silt, put it through classifiers, into a jig, and find done. I chose Jan because he was a gentleman, and I liked him. But I don't think in his wildest dreams he even guessed about, or even took into consideration elevation and the effect it has on pumps.
But the force of the water has blasted the pump handle right off.
But this is not good news.
No, it isn't.
This is very weak even for that unit.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bloody
flimsy.
bulge pump, man, really. They use this in canoes.
Final verdict is bullshit. We have to go now buy a compressor strong enough to lift the water up to the pump. There we go. We were hoping everything would run smoothly today. One more problem. You know, what can you do?
A new day, and Peter and Kim have to return to South Africa yet again to purchase a larger compressor. Jan has arrived to commission the pumps.
It was my intention to tell him that his equipment has cost us 2 or 3 weeks downtime.
Stuck there again, same spot.
And I wanted to make him accountable. I wanted him to acknowledge that really it was their fault.
I think there's a design flaw.
Jan inspect the pipes for this application, for this area, for this place. My skills are entirely different.
Jan wants to move the 1.5-ton pumps to the water's edge.
You come here and then you stuff around and then you waste another whole day. Now we're going to waste another whole fucking morning. See Conrad, he's about to go. He's on the edge of it.
He was going the same route with the new pumps that we went with the old ones. Take them off the trailer, get them lower down, move them closer to the water, destroying our whole object of maneuverability and enough distance from the water to be safe.
After all that, it still will not prime.
Jan, it's a real problem. He could see the problem, didn't know how to fix it. When the equipment comes, does it come with a proviso to say, well, look, it's suitable for up to 1.8 meter head height? So I was giving Jan a bit of a hard time trying to make sure that he understood that we felt it was really his product, his machines and his company who have cost us quite a bit of lost or downtime.
The guys invest a lot of money here. We've got a window period of opportunity. If you're moving 5,000 tons of gravel an hour, you're doing 6 hours a day. That's 30,000 tons of lost opportunity. You multiply that by the amount of time we've been here, and it's a considerable pile of gravel that we haven't been able to look at.
With the rainy season drawing nearer, it is imperative they get the machines working.
We have to make this work today. I think Jan just got so freaked out, he didn't know which way to go.
Conrad can get his point across pretty well.
Tempers were fraying.
When you were here last time, when you just...
You didn't place the order, so...
When you were here, when you were last time...
No, but he's on the same... I know that. And I told you, I told everyone.
Jan made a fundamental schoolboy error. He did not factor in the altitude, and the more Conrad tried to box him into a corner, the more heated it became.
Jan was frustrated by his own problem.
And he had a kitten, you know, all 6'6" of him jumped up and, then I'm going to go home. Rob Thunder had to intervene.
Situations like this, when you've got two guys that are getting a bit hot in the collar, the best thing is to sit in the middle and try and mediate.
I just want to clarify the situation for myself, okay? You have permission to provide us some equipment so that we can do alluvial diamond mining. So it's not fighting with you.
Conrad's a tough oak, eh? He'll stand his ground no matter how big the oak is.
You know, 6'6" on top of me will not be pretty. Not fighting with you. Yeah, I understand.
I'm looking for alluvial mining equipment. I want to work in the city in the river. The city in the river can mean anything for me. I've never been to the city. I don't know. When Peter asked me to make these pumps, he told me to put them on stands. They would stand on the ground. Now they're standing on a stand, on a trailer. Vacuum can't lift it. The water becomes too heavy. The higher you lift the water, the heavier it becomes. It's just nature.
So he said, but you guys ordered these things. And he kind of like laid the blame off on us, which is bullshit. That's not the case.
For me, this is so serious that it's almost,
Well, Jan,
you want to pull the plug on it.
Jan didn't really have a leg to stand on.
just cut to the chase. What I think here, Jan, and I'm hearing both stories, and I'm coming in as the outsider, a bit of the outsider, coming in detailing. So I'm understanding your point of view and I'm understanding Conrad's point of view. I think you're getting frustrated. Trust us. Trust me, we're getting frustrated as well. We've got a lot of money here. I've only been here since Friday. Fuck, I don't know how he's fucking still keeping his cool, because I'm beginning to But the bottom line is we all know that the Lesotho is a mountainous area. But I think Jan was realising that he was up a creek without a paddle. Let's try and find a solution. If we put this down to here, you say it's going to work?
Well, as I said, the water is lifting up here.
Jan is not committing.
We are FUCKED.
Yeah. But we couldn't climb it because of atmospheric pressure of the weight of the water.
Jan wasn't giving us any clear-cut answers. He wasn't going to take it on the chin.
I really don't care if he's pissed off with me because everything I said was true.
He could see they're not working. And I think that just blew him away.
It becomes more and more critical that we're able to work effectively. And to date, we have not been able to work effectively.
And Jan just got in his car and buggered off. He just couldn't take it. I think he just gave up.
It's becoming clear what needs to be done. We pack up and go home. He gives us our money back. We write off the time value of money and all our operating costs so far. Go back to our investors, give them the money, and then find someone who wants to buy this concession and sell it to them. And we might come out net square.
That night, they let loose. The stress of mining in the mountains is too much.
What inspired us? A couple of bottles of red wine and a bottle of Johnny Black.
Jan yesterday, I think he just gave up and buggered off. I mean, he couldn't add any more value. He couldn't fix his problem. And I think he chickened out and ran away.
Up.
Shit. After many days of all the bullshit, hopefully that compressor can get this thing to prime. Priming means getting the water to fill these tubes. So we've got now two methods of priming it. One is we'll try the suction. If the suction doesn't work, we're going to put a pump on there and fill it with water.
I don't believe that the compressor is going to have enough power. Not very confident at all.
With Jan's disappearance, the team are left to find a solution on their own. And the new compressor has made no difference.
That thing won't do it. We'll use water. This whole contraption where we'll put a water pump on here and shoot water into the big pump.
This is Kim's clever design.
We'll connect the 2-inch pump to here. And that should give us enough water in the pump to prime it.
The machines are working for now. The divers get in the water.
When you're diving in those holes, you've put your full trust on the guys above. You just hope the guys are doing it correctly, you know, and it's not endangering your life. Down there, the water's cold, you're shivering.
It's very difficult, especially when the water gets murky and got to feel your way around. You're using sensors which you usually don't use. Most people rely on sight to know what's going on, and down there we actually close our eyes.
Gary has noticed something seriously wrong with Warren's air supply. He immediately pulls Warren out.
This hose over here was attached here, and there was a hose on here. And there should only be one hose onto this machine at any given time. That's oil. That goes onto a man's lung, and it's like putting varnish on your lung. Roger, come check here, bro. That is going into your lungs, bro.
Someone had hooked up my rig to actually the blue compressor. And that's not for breathing. I mean, we've got proper compressors for breathing with filters on.
Dive compressors all have these filters that you regularly change the cartridges. It's an ongoing safety measure.
And it keeps out any impurities. I mean, his hand was just covered in oil.
Oil coats the alveoli in your lungs and you can breathe as much as you like and you're not going to get any oxygen transfer.
When that happens, you can literally look at the guy. You can't do anything for him. You can't put him on oxygen. Nothing. There's nothing you can do. It could have very much ended his life.
It was an extremely close call for Warren. The frustration grows as the new pumps are not performing either.
I think his design is something incorrect. Every time he sucks into the mud, it shits off.
I heard it, lady.
They don't do what they're supposed to do. In fact, that big pump struggled more than the little pump. Let's change the whole process. Let's put the little pumps down at the water and go back to our original classifier, take these two big pumps, the hell with them.
I'm okay.
Leave classifiers up, leave everything up, just those little two pumps go down and back. Come more towards me. Okay.
And now the weather has changed.
We'd been warned that the rainy season was about to start here in Lesotho.
Did anybody move that Jenny?
I got it out.
Ah, fantastic. This is Africa at its best, at its worst. It's hostile.
It thunder and hail and it rained for about half an hour and then it was gone.
You get 4 seasons in one day.
The rain clears. They can now test Pete's new setup.
Much quicker. It's in.
What the hell is wrong?
The success of the small pump is almost lost, as it took another full day to get it working.
Right up until half an hour ago, I was willing to stuff and break everything, and sue the bastard who sold us this. We've missed 2 weeks of pumping. We've got 7 weeks left. We've got to really pump this entire bank. I want us to come here in a month's time and this whole bank is gone. And it can do it. These pumps can pump 50 tons a day. So if we've got both of them running, we'll pump 100 tons a day, which is 100 cubic meters of ground. I'm feeling a lot better. If you'd asked me this half an hour ago, I'd have fucking free. Okay, what we're going to do today, pump by the water, we're going to take this machine out. Those big pumps are a heap of junk. They're not going to work. They're too heavy to move around. So we're going to go back to the smaller pump, put the small pumps right next to the water, suck with them, and then just continuously move the small pumps around. Everything else is going to be built into situ, so we never have to move it again. Look at the volume of water coming out of the classifier. No, it's going well.
Today's probably going to be the first day of proper pumping at the site where we want to be, where we know there's stones, and hopefully we can get some beauties out today. It's the first time I've done river diving like this, as they say, paddle hopping.
The divers, they get into these deep holes that we dig with these huge suction machines and there's boulders toppling over them.
Warren jumps in the TLB to move some big rocks off the riverbank.
He's struggling with the back axle, but it's a bit complex. Yeah, I'm not a qualified TLB driver. Taking the boom up over their heads, between the guys, lowering it.
If something does fall, we don't know it's coming down. Warren and his bloody bulldozing. He's coming at full pace. He's got big boulders in the bucket and he's pushing them over into the water, right where my legs are. Yeah, I had a fucking boulder fall on the back of my calf.
Sham, he's having a little fatty wobble.
And he's lucky I was in the water and I'm suited up, otherwise I would have given him a fat push klapper.
I'm not scared of him, couldn't give a fuck, honestly. The operation is becoming productive, and the team have filled the most bags in one day so far.
We have a certain budget, we have a certain time limit, and we've got to work within that. At the end of that time, the money runs out, the time runs out, and we've got to try and find something during that period. Our haystack is enormous. And somewhere in there is these couple of needles that are going to be very valuable.
It's the weekend, and the divers have gone to a nearby ski resort to let off some steam. Things go downhill quickly.
We're quite crazy oaks together. And we do crazy things together.
Tequila, we are not a good combination. We don't mix very well.
Came in all aggressively, screaming, shouting, was just sitting there minding my own business.
Fuck you,
I was pretty irritated about him dropping a rock on the back of my fucking legs. He just had no remorse about it or anything, and I just lost my rags.
Fuck you, bitch! Come here! You want one?
We went outside, we had another fight out there. I must have got my little crazy switch. While he was down, I carried on hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, and fucked me from everywhere. He was bleeding. I can't fight when I'm drunk. Nobody can fight when they're drunk.
The next morning, Conrad runs into Warren, who is nursing a few injuries.
You know, it says so.
We're sitting in there relaxed, huh?
He shows Conrad some footage on an iPhone.
And I can't have no business, bitch.
What the fuck happened? Jesus, but I've just had a chat with Warren. What happened, brother?
I have no idea. Honestly, don't have an idea.
When I hear friends got into such a big fight and they say, oh, I drank too much and I don't remember a thing, I think more it's a character flaw.
No, buddy, that's serious. Yeah, that is really serious.
I don't understand what the fuck happened last night.
My chat with him could have gone one of two ways. I could have lost it and let him have it and said, cheers, but you're fired.
I can't afford to lose my job over this shit like this.
He got beat up pretty badly. I think his ego took a massive knock. All I wanted to do in my chat with him was to bring him back from there.
You look like shit.
I feel like shit.
It's almost a compulsive personality, and that generates those extremes. He has to have a lot of it. He must do all of it. He's got to do it in the biggest possible way.
Right, I'll see you now.
Thanks, man.
Look, Nick.
Hey, I feel like I disappointed a lot of people last night.
Conrad goes to break the news to Don.
I think there's only one solution, my friend.
And verbalize it, let's think about it.
Pull out what's in the sink.
Like an apple.
I'm not sure that's the only solution.
This hooliganism last night is possibly could end up affecting my work now. And that's not the way I like to roll.